wake up, get to bed.
Oh, what time is it?
The middle of the night. I thought you were coming up hours ago.
I was just watching a bit of the film.
The idea was that we're both going straight up to bed tonight so we can have a good night's sleep.
I was having one.
Well, why didn't you come up with me?
I just didn't fancy coming straight to bed, OK.
Bill, what's the matter with us?
Well, I'm suffering from broken sleep. I don't know about you.
I mean us. You and me.
Fancy a cup of tea?
We always used to go to bed together.
We were never out of bed for the first month.
Exactly.
Well, you can't expect that to last forever. Not normal.
Isn't it?
Well, passion cools.
Has your passion cooled?
Well, of course it has. A bit. Well, so is yours.
How'd you know?
Oh, you used to make elaborate preparations when you came to bed.
Squirt perfume behind my knees, you mean?
And now you don't. Well, not often.
Well, it seems a lot of trouble to go to if you're not really interested.
Never seemed to be a lot of trouble before.
It wasn't.
And suddenly it is.
Well, you're just not very appreciative anymore.
Oh. I didn't know you expected a standing ovation.
Well, last time I made an effort, you said you wanted to finish your Len Dayton.
Well, I'd only got 3 pages to go.
Rejection hurts.
That wasn't rejection. I put the book down, didn't I?
Yes, when you'd finished it.
Ah, come on. What else am I guilty of? There's always more to come.
Well, you don't often tell me you love me these days.
Well, you don't often tell me you love me either.
Well, go on then. Tell me.
The last time I felt under such pressure to make a declaration, I was sitting in front of a tax inspector.
It's a simple enough question.
Oh, no, it isn't.
So you don't, then?
Look, what either of us say now will not be spontaneous or romantic.
I'll settle for factual.
Right? The fact is that if I say I love you will not alter the fact that we are going through what my mother used to call a bit of a bad patch.
Is that all it is?
I don't know, do you?
No.
Let's go to bed.
No, I'm not tired.
There you go.
Thank you.
Do I look the sort of man who cannot get through life without monogrammed golf balls?
How many goes have I got at the question? Oh, that's nice.
What?
It's from Carl.
I don't know any Carol.
Yes, you remember Carl Cherney. Isn't that nice?
Isn't what nice, and who is Carl Cherney?
I illustrated a book for him, a children's book. Do you remember?
Oh, yes, the bouncing check.
What's that supposed to mean?
Kept turning up on the doorstep and dragging you off for 4-hour lunches.
Oh, they were meetings.
Meetings do not have 3 courses and a plum brandy. They were lunches.
Well, I had to find out if I liked him, if we were going to work together.
Well, usually you just whip out a photo of the dog, and if anyone says, they're a friend for life.
I'd no idea you minded so much my having lunch with Carl.
It wasn't the lunches I minded. It was the evenings when you returned, all ratty and reeling.
Anyway, he has invited me to Prague.
For lunch?
Well, actually, he's invited both of us.
What for?
Well, he's writing a new book set in Prague, which he wants me to illustrate, and thinks it would be a good idea if I saw the city.
And am I invited to carry your handbag?
He says that the working sketches will only take a day, and he would like to show us round. Well, say something.
Like what?
Oh, you don't deserve to come. You've been so unkind about him.
I said he took you to lunch. Is that a slander?
All right. I'll say we'll be delighted then, shall I?
Oh, no!
Don't tell me you've been invited to Prague as well.
What?
Never mind.
Duncan has organised one of these stupid management training courses.
When?
Starts next weekend.
Who's going this time?
Oh, it's quite out of the question.
You've been told to go.
I'm entertaining next weekend.
In Llandudno, according to this.
No, I'm not going. I shall get out of it somehow.
Oh, it's a bit like jury service, I'm afraid. If the managing director says do it, you do it.
Yes, but Duncan understands me. We've had lunch.
Oh, and I suppose you told him if you travel more than 10 miles from Knightsbridge, you suffer a panic attack.
I do not want to spend the weekend being lectured in some drafty hall.
Oh, there are no lectures. It's an exercise in teamwork.
I have never knowingly been part of a team.
What about the Girl Guides?
I was not a girl guide. I refused to wear such an unflattering ensemble.
There'll be certain physical tasks.
Oh, this is sounding increasingly ominous.
Well, it's a bit like the Duke of Edinburgh's award.
It's going to be unpleasantly hearty, I know it.
It'll do you good.
I do not want good done to me.
You'll be out in the woods, damming streams and building bridges with your bare hands.
You mean actually go outdoors in the country?
People do, you'd be surprised.
They pay a heavy price. Chapped hands, ruined hairstyles, and I shall be miles from anyone interesting.
And Duncan will be watching you for any sign of weakness. And Dave, from Forward Planning, will be entertaining you with his monologue, My Holiday Plans for the Year 2000.
And I shall have you, of course.
I'm afraid not. I have made other plans.
Have a little look at page 2.
It's a mistake.
There is only one Bill McGregor.
I'll have a word with Duncan.
No, I'm afraid it's rather like jury service. When the managing director says do it, you do it. I'll tell him you'll be delighted, shall I?
How do you feel about sponsoring me?
To do what?
Studying the passing skills of AC Milan in Italy.
You mean you want me to pay for you to go on holiday so you can visit Gina's family?
Oh, put it like that if you must.
I do.
Cheers. Well?
You like Gina, don't you?
Oh, I'm not in the mood, Mum.
What for?
One of your interrogation sessions.
Oh, just thought we were having a conversation.
We never have conversations. You try and pump me for information and I adopt evasive tactics.
Oh, all I said was you like Gina, don't
Yeah,
you?
and the rest of the question is in that sort of way.
Well, do you?
Well, is that time? Got to go to Steve's.
I am very glad you broke it off with Louise. You were far too young to get serious and she was far too sensible.
Yeah, OK, Mum.
Oh, I can't believe that you nearly got married.
But I didn't, right? So it looks like you and Bill are going to have the first wedding in the family after all.
Well, I don't know about that.
What? After all we've been through, 2 replay dates and no result.
Yes, well, I just don't think the time's right yet.
Bill doesn't want to.
We haven't talked about it.
So how do you know?
Well, we are hardly talking. Haven't you noticed anything?
No.
No, why should you?
Well, I have noticed that Bill's often like watching the late film when I come home. You always used to go to bed together, didn't you?
Yes, thank you, Joe.
I mean, really early.
Yes, all right, I heard you.
I mean, before the news,
yes,
some nights.
all right. Bill's under a lot of pressure at work.
Yeah, good one, that, yeah. I told Louise I was under a lot of pressure when I dumped her. It's the only way. Clean break.
Oh, I don't want a clean break. Bill and I'll work it out.
Well, there's one good thing.
What?
We've just had a conversation.
Oh.
He's after money.
Yes, you're right.
Oh, only the airfare and anything else you care to donate?
Yeah, all right, well, we'll talk about it when Bill and I get back from Prague.
Oh, Bill's not going to Prague.
Well, yes, of course he is.
No, he's not. Liza came in the wine bar today. There's some management training course in Wales this weekend. Bill's got to go.
She took great pleasure in telling you this, did she?
No, she doesn't talk to me. She was telling Callum she'd be away till Monday. I think he's quite relieved to be getting a break from the old bat myself.
Well, why can't Bill ring me himself and tell me he's spending the weekend with his flaming ex-wife?
Because he's scared? I don't know. Ask him yourself. He gave me a lift home.
Ooh, should I stay or should I go?
Push off.
I think I'll go. Hi, Bill. Got a flat jacket?
Oh, champagne. Very wise. I'm going to have a bath. See you later.
Small offering, my love.
Lovely. Celebration.
I've got some news.
All set for the weekend?
Yes, but not the one we're planning.
Oh?
There's a management training course at Llandovery in Wales, and I've got to go. I'm sorry.
Oh, dear. Anyone else going?
Duncan and Dave, Mike, I think, and Liza, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, never mind.
You don't mind?
No, why should I? I mean, after all, you don't mind me going to Prague to see Carl, do you?
No, I think you should go.
Oh, well, I'm very glad you're not jealous or anything stupid like that.
Well, I've got nothing to be jealous about, have I?
Neither have I.
Exactly.
So that's all right, then.
I think it might be a good idea to have a break.
Might it? Yes, it might.
I wonder if you'd all gather round me, please. Our game model this morning centres on the delicate area of industrial relations. This fenced-off area behind me represents a factory. Miss Liza Ferrari, you are appointed team leader of the group, which will represent the management of this factory.
Oh, jolly good. Let's go for coffee, my team.
Miss Ferrari, It's not quite like that. Duncan here, Mr. Cousins, your own managing director, represents the leader of the workers who are on strike. Up the workers! And this cardboard box, Miss Ferrari, represents your product you want to get to your customer.
I knew there'd be something.
Unfortunately, Mr. Cousins has a group of striking pickets outside your factory who are determined to stop you. Now, I'd like to see how you tackle this problem.
My team, this way! Yay! Placards up!
Okay.
We shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. Gercha, 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 gercha.
Excuse me. Would you mind getting out of the way? This is such a silly situation. I'm sure none of you really wants to upset me. I'm a reasonable person. Duncan, we've had lunch, remember?
Lift to the airport? I'm not due in till just before lunch.
No, it's all right, thanks. I've got a cab coming in a few minutes.
You look very chic.
Oh, yes, thank you. It's new.
Did you buy it for this weekend?
Yes, I did, as a matter of fact.
What does Bill think of it?
I haven't the faintest idea. He hasn't seen it. He left at dawn for Wales.
You're really hacked off about that, aren't you?
Doesn't bother me in the slightest. If Bill wants to romp in the countryside, playing silly games with his ex-wife, it's got nothing to do with me.
Mummy had to go, you know that.
Whose side are you on?
Who's taking sides? I'm just telling you the facts.
The fact is that I don't care at all. Why should I? I'm going to Prague, aren't I?
Alone.
I can enjoy myself without Bill, you know.
All right, fine. Don't take it out on me.
I'm not taking it out on you. There's nothing to take out. What do you mean?
Well, I just mean it's perfectly obvious you and Bill aren't getting on at the moment.
Who says?
I should think most of the neighbours, for a start.
Look, just because Bill and I have a few arguments, it doesn't mean to say we're on the rocks.
So what's this Carol Cherney like, then?
What's he got to do with it?
Quite a lot, I imagine.
He's very attractive, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yeah? Do you fancy him?
Oh, heaven's sake, Hannah.
Does Bill know?
There's nothing to know. We're a business association, that's it.
Well, it's dodgy ground going to stay with him.
I'm quite capable of behaving myself.
I'm not thinking about you. He's probably lured you over there because he fancies you, not because he wants to show you around the countryside.
Well, what if he has? It's very flattering.
Yes, but flattery's supposed to get you nowhere, isn't it?
Well, there you are. I give you a lift to the station.
I have a cab coming, thank you.
The doctor said there shouldn't be any permanent damage, although it'll be a few weeks before I can start hand gliding again.
He was appallingly rude to me.
Reason and discussion, Liza. That was the point. You were supposed to win the workers over with your skill at arbitration.
Well, nobody told me that. I thought I was just supposed to get my goods into the factory.
Handbagging Duncan was not a positive career move.
He wasn't Duncan, the managing director, then, was he? He was just an irritating little working-class oif.
I think you'll find he became Duncan, the managing director, at the exact moment you mugged him.
He exasperated me.
Have you been to see him?
Certainly not. Let him come to me. He said some quite unkind things. I shan't forget them in a hurry.
I thought he was remarkably restrained for a man who moments earlier had been vertical and in perfect health.
I thought I handled it rather well. Are you taking his side?
Well, of course I am. So is everybody else.
Well, at least I shall spend Sunday having a long hot bath while the rest of you are barging through the bracken.
Oh, I'm glad you're being so philosophical about it.
Well, why shouldn't I be? Duncan just sent me home. That's exactly what I wanted, after all. He didn't sack me, did he?
He's hardly likely to sack you in the middle of Wales, is he?
So, you think there's a possibility my job might be a little insecure?
I think there's more than a possibility. He's flat on his back with a herbal poultice.
Will you tell him I didn't mean it?
Tell him yourself.
I don't think he likes me very much at the moment.
That's hardly surprising.
Bill, if he sacks me, I won't be able to bear it.
Liza, this is not like you.
I know you think I'm as hard as nails.
I don't think it, I know it. And the evidence is under sedation in room 206.
This experience has changed me.
Changed Duncan, too, and the poor bloke standing behind him.
You don't often see my vulnerable side, do you? Well, open the door for me. It's taken you forever to get here. Did you take the scenic route, or perhaps you stopped off to sing rugby songs with some of your friends in matching blazers? My God, how long since you had this interior valeted?
Oh, I had to drop off some sheep in Mudvine.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just can't apologise enough. I've just saved you from a very embarrassing situation.
Oh?
Look at this.
It's sushi.
Maybe, but someone's forgotten to cook it.
It's a Japanese delicacy.
You better pop it in the deep fat fryer for a couple of minutes. I just hope we haven't lost 2 good customers.
Callum, sushi is raw fish.
Aye, to start with. Hannah, there's something I want to ask you.
OK, which shift do you want me to change?
Oh, I was going to work up to it. Tell you how much I appreciated you and that I'd do any of your shifts you wanted to swap.
Well, go on then.
What?
Work up to it.
Hannah, you are a truly wonderful person. And what's more deeply caring and considerate of the needs of other
Which
people?
shift?
Tomorrow afternoon. Liza's due back then and the flat needs fumigating. Thanks.
Dan, I was going to play hard to get.
Callum, you have a choice. Disfigurement or death. Hannah!
Hi, Mum. Did you have a good time?
Where's Bill?
Ah, stuck at the office. I said I'd collect you. Richie gave me time off.
Well, we better stop on the way home then and get some milk. Joe's bound to have used it all up.
Ah, I'm not taking you home. Will said I've got to drop you at the office and he'll take you out to dinner.
Aren't you working tonight?
No, but guess what?
Something terrible's happened to Liza.
Yes, how did you know?
I didn't, but there aren't many things that can put that ridiculous grin on your face and mine.
Well, the day started much like any other.
Yes, you can forget the prologue.
Callum asked me to do his shift for him because he said he had to clean up the flat for Liza's return. And I said OK, and then he kissed me.
Yes, so? Oh, you mean he kissed you?
Exactly. I knew something had happened between us, even though he didn't spell it out for me.
That's just as well, since he can only spell cat.
But just at that moment, guess what happened?
He turned into a haggis.
Liza walked in and saw us. She'd come home early from this course. Apparently she beat someone up.
Hope it wasn't Bill.
Well, she was not best pleased, but Callum was brilliant. He said he wasn't going to be dictated to by her anymore, but he'd be happy to stay friends because, listen to this, he likes older women.
And he's still alive.
Well, she just went very quiet and said she'd never enjoyed being part of a team, and she'd only called in to tell him she no longer had need of his services. You know, just to save face. Isn't that brilliant? So how was Prague?
Well, it wasn't that exciting.
No? What about Carl? Did he try and pull you?
Yes.
And?
I'm here, aren't I?
What, so you didn't...
I think I liked it better when you thought babies came from nurses' handbags.
Were you tempted?
Yes.
So what stopped you?
It's a bit difficult to explain, but I'll try.
Oh, go on then.
Not to you, to Bill.
Liza, for someone whose job is very much on the line, I do not think it wise to reject this article on flowers of the Punjab.
Why? It's rather boring.
Written by Duncan's wife.
Oh. Sorry.
Sorry? You've never said sorry in your life.
Would you call me difficult, Bill?
Yes, I have many times.
No, I don't mean at work. I mean as a partner.
Yes?
I'm not an unattractive person, am I?
Liza, you've never had a moment's doubt about your irresistibility.
I have now.
Oh?
Callum has left me.
Has he?
For another woman, or rather, a child. Your stepdaughter.
Hannah?
When I came home from the course early, they weren't expecting me, and I surprised them.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
They were locked in a passionate embrace.
And did you express your disapproval in the usual way?
Well, my first instinct was to disable him, but then I remembered what happened in Wales and I restrained myself.
I'm proud of you.
I just asked him quietly to make a choice.
And what were you holding at the time?
Does it matter?
Anything of Callum's?
I said he needed his freedom.
Well, I'm sure he meant it.
Bill, we were a couple. We did everything together.
He was always 2 paces behind you wearing a chauffeur's cap.
The Queen and Prince Philip have a very similar arrangement. It's always worked for them.
Liza? Are you crying?
Must be allergic to the upholstery.
I didn't realise you felt so much for Callum. I thought you were only interested in him because of the vineyard.
Vineyard? Oh, yes, I do remember something.
I suppose it's no consolation now, but I may as well tell you as you've split up.
Oh, such tragic words.
There is no vineyard. Callum invented the story of his inheritance to win you over. He's got no money, Liza. He's broke.
Is this true?
I'm afraid it is.
Well, that's all right then. I'm well rid of the sponging little swine. Champagne! What's funny?
Oh, you never change.
I must ring the engravers first thing. I was having some cufflinks made for him. I was hoping he might one day buy a shirt. Oh, I feel liberated. So bad for the complexion, crying, isn't it? Still, once a decade can't hurt.
Here, have some of this. Here's to you.
Thank you, darling. Cheers.
Cheers.
Now, Bill.
Hmm?
Have you had a chance to talk to Duncan yet?
No.
Why not?
Because he's only just beginning to recognise members of his family.
You will say nice things about me, won't you? You've always rescued me from the brink of disaster.
Yes, but we were married then.
Do you remember what it felt like to be in love with me?
Painful?
Not all the time.
No, not all the time. There were times when...
When we thought it would last forever.
Yes, I suppose there were.
The last time I cried was over you.
I never made you cry.
I cried because our marriage was over.
So did I.
Did you?
Of course I did. I was old-fashioned enough to believe that marriages are forever.
We were very much in love.
That is never enough.
Nobody loved me like you did. You know how to handle me. What?
Oh, I was just thinking of a certain cornfield near Toulouse where you said something very similar.
The farmer looked very surprised.
I'll get it. It's probably Vic wanting to lock up. All right, Vic, we're coming.
Bill, it's me. I'm downstairs. Did you forget I was coming?
Yes, I did, I'm afraid. I'm sorry.
I have missed you. I've got lots of things I want to tell you.
Yes, well, I'll be down in a minute. Come on, Liza, let's go.
Yes, let's get out of here. Let's go to the Villa Carlotta and sit by the window and make plans like we used to.
I've already made plans.
Oh, well, where shall we go then?
I know exactly where I'm going.
I have a wild desire for some Florentine oysters and a chilled Verdicchio. Wouldn't that be fun?
Look, I'll lock up here and get another lift. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, come down with me.
That would not be a good idea.
Do you remember that lift in San Francisco?
How could I forget?
Well, let's go back to my office. I've got a daybed. We could have a little rest.
Good night, Liza.
Oh, Bill. Good night, my darling.
Oh, Bill, you coming?
Yes, I'm on my way, Faith.
Faith?
Liza? Is that Liza?